Hi, I'm Janelle Ginsberg, and this is my front-end reflection for communication and technology. I would have to say that the mode of communication that's the most effective is personal, face-to-face connections. You get your social cues like body language, facial expressions, temporal structure. We're synchronous, we're sharing the same space and time, and you get physical touch. You can communicate affection or support. But in this busy, fast-paced world, families and friends are not generally near each other for that kind of constant interaction. So I would say that my favorite technology is the phone. If the person's available, then we can be in that synchronous conversation with immediate responses. And in this technology, we still have the social cues of hesitation, voice inflection, pronunciation. However, you have some problems with mobility unless the person has a cell phone, and then that opens up the world again. So mobility becomes a positive attribute, and the two people in the conversation can be moving in different directions or be across the planet from each other, and the vast majority of the integrity of the message is still intact. I said I would choose the phone, over Skype per se, because Skype, you have to get dressed up, you have to be ready to be seen, but the phone, if you can't be right next to each other, the phone, you can be doing the dishes, you can be multitasking, but still have that phone under your ear and be able to have a really deep and meaningful conversation. I do like that. Skype, you have to sit down and it's like a regular conversation. The only thing about Skype is you don't get physical touch. You don't get the communicating affection or support. I've seen some people come into the screen for a hug, but I'm not sure that really does the trick. But availability is the problem for each one of these technologies, for Skype and the telephone. There are times when one party is in a meeting or otherwise indisposed, or should be indisposed, and a telephone call wouldn't be appropriate. For this reason, I think that texting is probably easiest. It's the most flexible in regards to the temporal structure. It can be synchronous or asynchronous. You can be shooting texts back and forth to each other, or you can shoot a text and then when the person's available 2 hours later, they can text you right back. However, there aren't that many social cues. So I think emojis have been a wonderful addition to help with this. There are times when I think, what did they mean by that? But then they put their little smiley face and I know they're joking. I am currently in the process of swapping out my least used texting for my most used telephoning. This is changing my life. I am not used to it. There is a huge learning curve. I have offended people by taking too long to respond. I wouldn't check my texts, or I would say the wrong thing, or I would try to make a cute spelling and say something that was completely not appropriate. So it is changing my life. However, it's bringing me closer to people. When my kids were home all day, I had constant interaction with them. But as they've grown up, I found myself relying more on this texting technology to bring me into contact with them. My son, he's a teenage boy, and he wants to get off the phone as soon as humanly possible. But a text feels like less of an intrusion into his world. My daughter, she'll talk on the phone with me just to be sure we're communicating, but texting is still her go-to when she's moving from place to place. I can see that when you hold out from using the latest technology, it doesn't necessarily result in you getting to continue in your old patterns using the phone or email. It can actually just end up cutting off your social interaction. So it's good to change with the times, and I think I'm learning. It's growing on me, this idea of texting. And as I'm reading some of your discussions and some of the reasons why people enjoy texting so much, I'm beginning to get convinced that it's not all so bad. Well, thanks. I look forward to seeing you in the rest of the semester, or the rest of these 5 weeks, and we'll talk to you soon. God bless.